On October 6, 2005, a woman in New Haven, Connecticut, was standing at what looked like the edge of a turning point. Her name was Lisa Ann Calvo. She was 40 years old. She had been living a difficult, unstable life. She was battling addiction. She had lost custody of her children. Her health was poor. And yet, according to the people who knew her, that day was not supposed to be the end of her story. It was supposed to be the beginning of an attempt to rebuild it. Lisa told her family she planned to move back in with her parents. She was preparing to enter treatment. She needed money for a scheduled court appearance, and her mother wired it to her. Authorities later confirmed that Lisa picked up that money at around 5:30 that evening. After that, she vanished. No confirmed phone call. No verified sighting that brought closure. No clear trail showing where she went next or who she may have encountered. Just a sudden silence around a woman whose life had been turbulent, but whose disappearance still struck those closest to her as deeply out of character. More than 2 decades later, the case remains open. And the central question has never changed. What happened to Lisa Ann Calvo after the last confirmed sign of her in New Haven?
Welcome to Case Files of the Missing, where the search for answers does not end with time. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Lisa Ann Calvo was born on February 2, 1965. Public case listings describe her as a white woman with brown hair and brown eyes. She was petite, about 4 feet 11 inches tall and roughly 105 pounds. She had at least 2 known tattoos, including a spiderweb on her right thigh and another tattoo on her right leg. Those details matter in missing person cases because they become part of the only map investigators may have left when a person disappears without answers. But physical descriptors never tell the whole story. By 2005, Lisa's life had become difficult. Public case summaries state that she was addicted to heroin and in poor health. She was also dealing with the painful consequences that often come with severe addiction, including the loss of custody of her children. According to public reporting and case summaries, she left behind very young twins. In many missing person cases involving addiction or housing instability, the public can be too quick to assume that the person simply drifted away. That assumption can flatten a real life into a stereotype. It can turn a crisis into a shrug. But Lisa's case has long stood in tension with that assumption. The people who knew her said that despite her instability, she stayed in touch. She had not severed ties with her family. And on the day she vanished, the picture being formed was not one of permanent disappearance. It was one of a woman who may have been trying, however imperfectly, to step toward something different. That is one reason this case has stayed with her family for so long. Because to them, this was not a situation where Lisa simply chose to disappear. This was a break in the pattern of her life. October 6, 2005, began with contact between Lisa and her family. Public case summaries say her family saw her that morning in New Haven. At the time, she was homeless or intermittently living on the streets. Though she also spent time in known areas of the city, especially around the Fairhaven section and the Grand Avenue and Murray Place area. That day, according to public case accounts, Lisa said she was planning to move back in with her parents and enter drug treatment. She also had a scheduled court appearance in New Haven and needed money to get there. Her mother wired her the funds. Authorities later confirmed that Lisa picked up that money at approximately 5:30 p.m. That detail is crucial. In missing person investigations, small confirmations often become the last solid marker before everything turns uncertain. A phone call, a withdrawal, a ride, a purchase, a conversation. In Lisa's case, the pickup of that money appears to be the last publicly confirmed sign that she was still moving through New Haven that day. After that, her trail goes cold. There have been mentions over the years of possible local sightings after her disappearance, but public case summaries still treat the case as unsolved and unresolved. No confirmed contact after that evening has publicly changed the timeline, and that means the most important window in the case may be the hours immediately after she picked up the money. Where did she go next? Who saw her? Did she meet someone voluntarily? Did she plan to spend the night somewhere familiar? Did she encounter danger because of the circle she was moving through at the time? Or did someone recognize that she was vulnerable, alone, and easy to isolate? Those unanswered questions have defined the case ever since. Cases like Lisa's are often complicated by the way society views risk. A woman who is homeless, living transiently and battling addiction can become nearly invisible even before she is officially missing. Her routines may be fluid, her contacts may be informal. She may pass through spaces where witnesses are reluctant to speak, where names are forgotten and where danger is normalized. That makes investigations harder. But hard is not the same as impossible. And in Lisa's case, public summaries emphasize an important point. Despite her addiction and unstable circumstances, it was not normal for her to cut off all contact with her family. They believed she was trying to take steps toward treatment. They did not see her disappearance as a quiet choice to walk away forever. That distinction matters because it changes the lens. If Lisa had simply continued living transiently in the same way she had before, her family likely would have had some kind of contact, some indication, some trace. Instead, according to the public record, there was silence. Long-term silence in a case like this often raises darker possibilities. It suggests that something interrupted whatever Lisa intended to do next. Public case information notes that Lisa spent time in the Grand Avenue and Murray Place areas of New Haven. Those details matter because location can shape both vulnerability and witness potential. Urban missing person cases are often full of contradictions. There are people everywhere, and yet no one sees the decisive moment. There are traffic patterns, corner stores, side streets, temporary residences, informal networks, and overlapping personal histories. A person can be visible to dozens of people in passing, while still disappearing without a clean timeline. Lisa also reportedly knew Evelyn Frisco, another New Haven woman who disappeared the previous year and was never found. Public case summaries are careful to state that there is no indication the two cases are connected. That is important. Similar geography and overlapping social circles can create speculation that outruns evidence. Still, the comparison has lingered because it reflects a broader fear when vulnerable women disappear from the same city, especially from similar margins of public life. Families wonder whether those cases are being fully seen, fully prioritized, and fully pursued. That concern is not proof of a connection, but it is part of the emotional reality surrounding Lisa's case. Her disappearance did not happen in a vacuum. It happened in a place and in circumstances where vulnerability could be exploited, and where people living on the edges of stability can vanish with far less immediate public pressure than others. Lisa's case did not disappear from official records. Over time, it remained listed publicly through major missing person databases and advocacy sites. Her family continued to wait for answers. Years later, the case drew renewed public attention. In 2016, a $50,000 reward was announced for information that could help determine what happened to Lisa. That alone says something important. Investigators and her family still believed someone may know more than they had ever admitted. Rewards are often offered when a case reaches a painful stage. Enough time has passed that memories have settled, loyalties may have shifted, and someone who once stayed quiet may be more willing to talk. Fear can weaken over time. Relationships change, consciences crack. A person who said nothing in 2005 may not feel the same in 2016 or 2026. That same year, reporting indicated that investigators searched a towing yard on Kimberly Avenue for about a week based on leads. But the search came up empty. An empty search can be devastating for families. It revives hope and dread at the same time. It suggests movement. It suggests that information may have surfaced. But when nothing definitive is found, the case returns to the same suspended state it occupied before, except now with one more painful path closed off. Public reporting from 2014 also showed that DNA collected from Lisa's family did not match human remains found in Vernon, Connecticut. In one sense, that ruled out one feared possibility. In another, it simply returned the case to uncertainty. Lisa was still missing. The central mystery remained intact. Without speculating beyond the public record, Lisa's disappearance appears to revolve around a few core possibilities. The first is that she encountered danger through the instability already surrounding her life at the time. Addiction can place someone in unpredictable contact with people who are violent, controlling, opportunistic, or desperate. If Lisa crossed paths with the wrong person after picking up that money, the encounter could have escalated quickly and left little obvious evidence behind. The second is that someone she knew may hold the missing piece of the timeline. Cases involving transient movement rarely hinge only on strangers. Often the last answers sit with acquaintances, casual associates, people who shared a ride, a room, a street corner. or a conversation that did not seem important at the time. The third is that fear and silence may have blocked the truth for years. When a case grows old, it is easy to assume that everyone who knows something has already spoken. But that is not always how these cases work. Sometimes the most important witness is not someone who saw the entire event. Sometimes it is someone who overheard a detail, saw Lisa with a particular person, noticed an unusual vehicle, or learned something later that they dismissed because they were afraid to get involved. That is why so many long unsolved cases hinge on one delayed statement. Not a dramatic confession, it's not a cinematic breakthrough. It's just one person finally deciding to say what they have been carrying. There are several reasons disappearances like Lisa's can remain unresolved for years. One is timing. The first hours and days are often critical in any missing person investigation. When the person is an adult living a transient life, the urgency can become blurred. Was the person choosing distance, or were they in danger? Were they avoiding court, avoiding family, or simply moving around as usual? Every hour lost to uncertainty can make later reconstruction harder. Another is witness fragility. The kinds of people who may have crossed Lisa's path in October 2005 may not have kept records, may not have trusted police, may have struggled with addiction themselves, or may have been involved in conduct they did not want to expose. That can create a silent zone around the most important period of time. Another factor is public bias. When missing people are poor, addicted, transient, or stigmatized, the level of sustained attention is often lower. Families feel that difference immediately. It affects momentum, pressure, and sometimes the number of people willing to remember the case years later. And yet, Lisa's case has never fully disappeared. It remains listed. Her family's concern remained visible. Reward money was later offered. Searches were conducted. Leads were pursued. That tells us the case has not been written off. It tells us the answers may still exist. Lisa Ann Calvo disappeared at a moment when her life may have been poised between collapse and recovery. That is part of what makes this case so haunting. She was not described as preparing to leave everyone behind forever. She was described as trying to reconnect, trying to stabilize, trying to enter treatment, trying to take a step back toward her family and toward the possibility of getting her children back. Instead, the public trail ends with a confirmed money pickup in New Haven on October 6, 2005. And beyond that point, everything is shadow. For her family, the passing years have not answered the questions. They have only hardened them. What happened after 5:30 that evening? Who was the last person to truly see Lisa Ann Calvo? And what has remained unspoken in New Haven since 2005? Someone may still know. Someone may still remember. And until that missing piece surfaces, Lisa's case remains exactly what it has been for years. An unfinished story, a missing woman, and a family still waiting for the truth.
This is Case Files of the Missing, where the search for answers does not end with time. For more intriguing missing person and cold case stories, please like, comment, and subscribe.